Well, hello, and welcome to episode 127 of the Farm Traveler Podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Williams, and either sadly or unfortunately, I am also the guest today. So it's been a few minutes since we've done kind of a solo episode and kind of updated you on Farm Traveler and all that good stuff. We've had some, might be a little bit biased, but we've had some amazing episodes lately. We had Moomers on last week talking about, how they had the president visit and how my friends and I actually visited there in June or July. And we've just had a bunch of really cool episodes. I mean, what do you think? Have you learned a lot? Have there been kind of a diverse group of people on, farmers from across the world, from across the country? I think it's been fun. It's year 3. We still have a lot more people to interview, a lot more experts to learn from, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of sit down and chat with you about kind of the future of Farm Traveler and what we're going to do, some big things that we're doing later this year, maybe next year, maybe 2023, maybe 2024, we'll see. But yeah, so I wrote down some stuff, and honestly, I wrote down some notes, and I had to redo them because I couldn't read them. And I think I might be getting something from my grandpa, my mom's dad, where he has chicken scratch writing, and I think that's slowly happening to me. So I need to go back to 6th grade. A little bit bitter about when I learned cursive because I've been trying to do cursive a little bit more. I was the last person in my class to get the fat pen, or to get the skinny pen, because I had the fat pen for the longest. So maybe that was a sign that I was going to have bad handwriting for the rest of forever. But yeah, anyway, so some notes on Farm Traveler, what we're doing, what we've done, where we're going, all that good stuff. You've probably heard me say it a couple of times, but basically I want Farm Traveler to be a media empire. Not like the Empire from Star Wars, but I just think media empire sounds really cool. But when people want to learn how their food is made, how farmers do it, I want Farm Traveler to be kind of that answer for them. And whether that's the podcast or video or Facebook or newsletter or anything, I think we can address every audience. Because I think one of the cool things that I remember from teaching was that we were taught basically to address every learning modality that our students might have. And like the 3 big ones are auditorial, kinesthetic, and visual. People learn either by you telling them, you showing them, or by doing it themselves. And I think, the podcast is obviously auditorial. You listen to it, you learn from it, hopefully learn how food is made, agriculture is done across the world, all that good stuff. And then we've got the video side of things over on YouTube and even on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff, which if you're not already there, just look up Farm Traveler on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, or even, it's the handiest thing ever, look in the description of this episode and you will also see the links for that. So yeah, the videos are obviously super powerful. I think it's great because, we can actually physically see what's going on. And this year, we actually had our first farm visit. We went out to Lavaloha in Hilo, Hawaii. We filmed the whole cacao farm, how they make chocolate, even some coffee beans, some coffee plants they have there. And that was phenomenal. I mean, that was like maybe 2 months in the making. Or no, I'm sorry, that was like 6 or 7 months in the making. Because we had their farm manager, Deus, on, talked to him. He invited us out there. He scheduled it all. It was so much fun. I mean, we're out there. You can ask Allie. I was geeking out the whole time. Like, oh my gosh, we're actually on a farm. Farm Traveler's actually on a farm. We're like living up to our namesake. So yeah, that was so much fun. I think we got something like 3 hours of video content from that visit. And the YouTube video we posted was like 14 or 16 minutes. So there's a lot of unedited stuff out there. So I might post that eventually. But yeah, farm visits are huge. I want to do that. I want to really, really, really do it because I'm very visual and I want to learn by like actually being on the farm. Because honestly, that was the first time I'd been on a farm in a while. And you would think with the dude with the Farm Traveler podcast, the former ag teacher, would be on a lot of farms. But it actually been a long, long time. So it was actually like very refreshing to go up to Lavaloha and see what was going on. And so we actually have another one kind of in the works. I posted over on Instagram asking people like, hey, if you have a farm, let me know and we can go tour over there. And so I heard from Suzanne Boyd from Boyd Farms Fresh, and she was like, hey, we'd love to have you. Let us know, email us. So I emailed her. So we're hopefully going to schedule out a farm visit later this year or later next year. So that'll be super cool, kind of learning how they ranch, how they raise beef, how they raise cattle, and then how they distribute it to consumers locally at like farmers markets and stuff like that. So that'd be really fun. Hopefully we'll get that done in the next couple of months, probably early next year, and we'll go from there. So if you have a farm, if you have a ranch, if you are involved in farming or agriculture at all, and you'd like us to tour and film your operation, seriously, let me know. Just email me, farmtravelerseries@gmail.com, and we will figure something out. It's super easy. It's not like we have this huge film set like Dirty Jobs or Micro or anything. It's literally just me and Allie and this little Sony camera, and we just go and we film. I mean, it's just like you're doing a farm tour, except we film it and then we put it up on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, it's been great. We learned a lot from our first episode, like paying careful attention to the audio. I filmed our guy a couple of times, but his audio was down because he was too far away. I didn't know that. It was our first video, so we're going to learn that. But yeah, if you're interested, seriously, let me know. I would love to work with you. We would love to visit and film what you're doing. So yeah, so we'll plan it out. Maybe take 2 or 3 hours, and that's it. So farm visits. All right, that's the first bullet I'm checking off here. Second, if you would like to contribute to the Farm Traveler website, which if you haven't been there already, it's just thefarmtraveler.com. We're looking for any guest authors to contribute articles on there. Experts in the field, experts in agriculture, environmental sciences, food science, stuff like that. Just to share your opinions, your thoughts, your knowledge. It's a great place where you can post your articles. I think we've had like 5 or 6 guest posts over the past couple of years, which is not bad at all. And so if you want to share your articles, you can seriously write whatever you want to write about, as long as it's like food, farming, agriculture related. Again, let me know. Email me, message me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, and we will get your articles out there. I mean, I think it's really neat because we can have different experts from different fields come on and share their opinions, their experiences, and stuff like that. I mean, kind of working our way towards Farm Traveler being a media empire. So I think that would be awesome. So if you want to upload your articles or anything, let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. I think it would be awesome. Okay, our next thing, which I think is super, super fun. There are a lot of trade shows for agriculture, for farming, for producers of all kinds. And we're planning to actually go to our first conference. We will be going to the Southeast, don't know if you can see this if you're watching on video, the Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference in Savannah, Georgia in January 6th and 9th, or 6th through the 9th. So that's going to be super fun. Basically, it's all these companies that support Southeastern fruit and vegetable growers. They do a trade show. They do a bunch of like great conference, some keynote speaking events and stuff like that. So we're going to go and we're going to film stuff at the trade show, film some cool technology that's being developed, some best practices and stuff like that. And so right now we're actually looking for sponsors to sponsor our visits. That's been really neat. We've got a few leads so far, so we'll see how that goes. I think that'd be so cool if we get there. We're like, hey, your Farm Traveler content for the Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference is brought to you by so-and-so. So we'll see. There's like a huge list of sponsors on there that we're emailing and like, hey, we'd love to work with you. So we'll see how that goes. I think that'd be super fun. Go to a conference in January. So yeah, I think that'll be super fun. That will be, again, you'll see it on the podcast, on our YouTube channel, Instagram, all that good stuff. 2 last things. One, I'm super, super excited about. In November, we will be starting a new news channel. Not really a new channel, but a new news program. It's going to be Farm News Friday, and it's just going to be on our Facebook or on our Farm Traveler YouTube page. So again, it's just YouTube/Farm Traveler. And so every Friday, we're going to have like a 5 to 6 minute news segment talking about everything in farming, agriculture, food science, stuff like that. Like how the market's doing, how beef prices, how beef commodities are doing, how trade might be impacting stuff, some new food science stuff that's being updated. So I watched this news channel also on YouTube. They're called Tech Quickie, and they cover tech news very quickly, like 5 to 6 minutes, and they're really funny. And so that's what we're going to do. It's going to be like 5 to 6 minutes every episode, short, sweet, and to the point. It's going to be really funny, kind of quirky. We'll share you articles, videos, stuff like that. And we'll also share what our friends on Instagram are doing, like Kylie, the Grateful Farm Wife, or Ag Aviation Adventures, or Jason Meadows with his podcast, Ag State of Mind. We'll share what our friends are doing with their harvest or with their cattle breeding season or whatever, just stuff like that. So I think that'll be super fun. And again, that will only be on our YouTube channel, and we'll be working on that later on in November. So hopefully the first or second week in November, we'll get our first episode out. I'm excited. You're probably going to see this background with the live on-air sign some more, because that's what we're going to be using. So yeah, I think that'll be super cool. I wanted to do it because doing the news like that kind of keeps you up to date on stuff that's going on. And I've got to be honest, I've got my friend Matthew, and he's always texting me stuff like, oh, did you hear about this white, what was it? It was like this chicken problem where there's like this white strip. I think it was like white strip in chicken meat or something like that. And he was like, hey, did you hear about this? And I was like, no, I have no clue what that is. But basically it was like this issue where a lot of chickens raised for meat were, they had this white stripe of thing in their meat, and it kind of cut down on their value a little bit. And a lot of people have been saying it's from Tyson or something like that. And I was like, need to look into that. So I think a great way of staying up to date and teaching people is literally watching the news, staying up to date with it. So that'll be really fun. I'm excited for that. And also, I did a radio program a few months ago. I probably told you about that on the podcast. That worked out for a couple of months. It was pretty good. But they decided to go in a new direction, which was fine. But then, like, kind of last minute during that whole process, they're like, oh yeah, and then you didn't have a good voice for radio. I was like, all right, so hopefully I have a voice and a face for YouTube news. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Farm News Friday. Can't wait. Might have to make shirts. And lastly, okay, this is something I need from you. If you are listening, if you are watching, I need your help. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. Allie and I just got back from a wedding in Mexico. Super fun. We were in Los Cabos. Great time. Beautiful weather. But I was listening to a podcast from two dudes. It's Destin Sandlin from the Smarter Everyday YouTube channel. And then Matt, I can't remember his last name. Matt, and he does the 10-minute Bible hour. And so he's got a lot of really cool stuff on like dissecting the Bible and Christianity and stuff like that. And Destin was talking about how he sometimes asks people that are in his videos for constructive criticism. And he's like, yeah, it's actually been really helpful. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's try this for the podcast. So for your help, I would like some negative feedback for the show. I would appreciate it if it's not like mean. I have a fragile ego. So some positive, negative feedback, if that makes sense. Like, tell me something you don't enjoy with the show. Do I say really cool too much? Are the intros too informal? Am I asking non-interesting questions? Maybe there's a segment you might ask me to include or something you might want to change. So if there is any negative feedback you would have for the show, I would seriously greatly appreciate it. And what you can do, in the description for this show, you'll have a link and it'll say email me here. Or I got to figure out how it's going to work out. But in the description of this episode, you should see something that says subscribe now or links here. And so click on that, and then you'll see a little email icon, and you can just click that and it will open up like your web browser or whatever you use to email. And then email me some positive, negative feedback, or just email me at farmtravelerseries@gmail.com, or a bunch of different ways you can do this. Message me on Instagram, message me on Facebook, or if you're a friend or family that have my number, seriously just text me and be like, hey, I've got some feedback on your show, and I would seriously greatly appreciate it. I mean, you're really no good as your weakest link, and so I think if we iron out all the links, or I guess weld the broken links in our chain that is the Farm Traveler podcast, I think it can get better and better. Which also, going off of better and better, 2 weeks ago, randomly saw this. I've been trying to check statistics less for the show, like downloads and stuff like that, because I mean, you can really get down when you see somebody that has a popular show get thousands of downloads and you only get a couple hundred. So I've been checking it less and less. But I happened to see an email from a tracking service that I use, and 2 weeks ago, in 1 week we had 878 downloads, which is like the largest we've gotten in a very long time. So thank you. I mean, I cannot believe it. That was so amazing. And I think this week we got like something like 575 or something. Like we only lost like 200 or 300 total downloads, which is amazing. So thank you all so much for listening. It's clear that more and more people are hearing about the show, learning about the show. So thank you. And seriously, continue sharing with your friends, with your family members, with your coworkers, maybe the meat man at Publix or the grocery stocking person you see at Walmart. Just say, hey, my friends got a podcast named Farm Traveler. Go check it out. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but if you would, I would greatly appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to the Farm Traveler podcast. We've got some more amazing episodes on the way. Interviewing somebody this Thursday about their podcast about meat ranchers and what they're experiencing, what they're learning, how they're adapting to harsh realities right now because of COVID and because of the crazy market and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. And, you know, again, if you're a farmer or a rancher and you listen to this and you want to come on the show, let me know. Message me on Instagram, instagram.com/farmtraveler, and all that will be linked in the description. Or email me. Again, email is farmtravelerseries@gmail.com. So, yeah, that's really all I got. I don't have any more notes. I'm checking over it all. Yeah, feedback, YouTube news, guest authors, farm visits. Seriously, looking forward to farm visits. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. That's going to be so much fun. So, that's all I got. I'm going to hop off, and I'm going to slowly start to read a new book by our good friend Derek Josie. It is an industry worth fighting for. I've read 7 pages so far, and it's spectacular. I mean, just kind of how he is combating misinformation and people fighting people in the livestock industry. It's remarkable all what Derek does. So yeah, if you haven't read it, go read it. It's also it's on Amazon. Just look up An Industry Worth Fighting For from Derek, or check out his Instagram. So thank you so much. I'm going to go read, and you need to go listen to another podcast or do whatever you're doing. So thank you again so much. I really appreciate you for listening to these episodes and for being curious about where your food comes from. Still trying to figure out an official slogan of Farm Traveler, so if you have any information, let me know, or any ideas or opinions or thoughts or suggestions, let me know. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time. Goodbye.